Hey everyone, how's it going? So I'm just going to finish up this lesson from section 2.3. So if you remember back last time in the last video, I talked a little bit about BEDMAS. That was basically the focus of this particular part of the unit. So just as a reminder of what we talked about, BEDMAS is just a way of helping us remember the order of operations. The B stands for brackets, the E stands for exponents, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. And this is the order in which we should be solving math equations. So I don't know if anybody's ever really thought about this at all, but what is the reason why this is important? So that's what we're going to talk about today. Just one reason why it's important. So, oops, there we go. So the reason why it's important, especially in Canada, is because of something called skill testing questions. So basically, if you enter a contest in Canada, you can't actually claim a prize without answering a skill testing question. And a lot of the time, the questions involve using BEDMAS to solve a math problem. So, I have some examples here. These are just pictures that I copied off of the internet. So here's one for a $100 Tim's gift card. And you just had to do some simple math here, nothing too difficult really. Here's another one here for claiming a food prize. Here's another one here, there's a contest in BC. This one's quite a bit more difficult, I would say, but it's probably for something a lot more valuable. And just in case you don't believe me about how important this is a tweet that I found on the internet of somebody who won a Hudson's Bay card, and she made a typo in the skill testing question and did not get her prize. So clearly, order of operations is kind of important. So if you're following in the notes, there is this example here. And I think the question was, she's like winning a trip or a cruise or something like that, and she has to answer a skill testing question. So this is the question here. So 120 plus 20 to the power of 3 divided by 10 to the power of 3 plus 12 times 120. So we don't see any brackets in here, so we can move on to the E part, which is the exponents. 20 to the power of 3 is 20 times 20 times 20, which is 8,000. 10 to the power of 3 is 10 times 10 times 10, which is 1,000. We can substitute that into our equation. So now we have 120 plus 8,000 divided by 1,000 plus 12 times 120. So I just took these exponents and I replaced it with what they equal. Now we can do our multiplying and our dividing. We can do those in the same step, and we just follow what they are from left to right. So here we have a plus. We can't do anything about that yet. But we do have 8,000 divided by 1,000, which equals 8. And then here we have a plus. Can't do that yet. But we have 12 times 120, which equals 1440. So now I'm just going to take these two numbers, and I'm going to replace them in the equation. And what we're left with is 120 plus 8, so this whole thing equals 8, plus 1440, this whole thing equals 1440. Now we just have some simple adding to do, and we get 1568. So here's another question that was in the notes. I think it was in the notes anyways. But again, we're going to solve it using BEDMAS. So what's the first thing we do? Well, there are brackets here, so let's do that first. First we do brackets. 6 plus 4 equals 10. So instead of this 6 plus 4, I'm going to replace that with 10. What do we do next in BEDMAS? We do exponents. We have a 3 to the power of 2, and we have a 10 to the power of 2. So we can solve those. 3 to the power of 2 is 9. 10 to the power of 2 is 100. So again, I'm just going to take these two numbers and I'm going to replace them in the equation. So 3 to the power of 2 becomes 9. 10 to the power of 2 becomes 100. Next we do our dividing and our multiplying. And again, we can do that in the same step. We just go from left to right how we see them in the equation. So we had 9 times 10, which equals 90. And we had 100 divided by 4, which equals 25. Now we can take these two numbers and replace them in our equation. We get 10 plus 90 minus 25. And now we do our adding and our subtracting, and again we can do that in the same step as well. So we get 10 plus 90 equals 100, minus 25 equals 75. So that's it for this unit. I do have these practice questions that I suggested. As an alternative, if you don't want to do that, you can do the questions that I posted on Google Classroom. I think there is a 10 question quiz that's called BEDMAS, and there is, I think it's 12 or 15 questions, and that is a review of everything from the chapter so far. So everything from 2.1, where we learned about the basics of powers and exponents. There's a little bit about 2.2, which was numbers to the power of 0, as well as the powers of 10. And then 2 to the power of 2.3, which were the this section here, the BEDMAS section. So you can do those as well if you don't want to do these practice questions. But that's it for this video, so hopefully you guys have a good day whenever you're watching this, and I'll talk to you next time.